1 year ago today, the racing world stood still. A young jockey who had just lit up Cheltenham was suddenly lost. But some rides don't fade with time, and some names, they stay with us forever. This is for Michael O'Sullivan, before Cheltenham, before the roar, before the headlines. There was a young rider from Lombardstown building something quietly special alongside trainer Barry Connell. It wasn't hype, it wasn't noise, it was progression. In the Royal Bond Novice Hurdle, he showed composure beyond his years. In the Golden Cygnet Novice Hurdle, he confirmed it. And what made those victories even more impressive was this: he couldn't use his £7 claim. These were Grade 1 races. There was no allowance, no safety net, just ability. And he still won. That's when people inside the sport really began to take notice. Because taking weight off in handicaps is one thing. Winning at the very highest level without it, as a young rider, is something else entirely. Then came Cheltenham. And that week, he didn't just arrive. He announced himself, in the Supreme Novices Hurdle, guiding Marine Nationale with the calm of someone 10 years older. Patient, still, ice-cold up the hill. When others might have panicked, he looked completely in control, beating champion jockey Paul Townend aboard for Seal Vega. And then, just 3 hours later, he did it again aboard Jazzy Matty in the Fred Winter. A Cheltenham double. For many jockeys, one festival winner defines a career. 2 on day 1, at that stage of his journey, felt extraordinary. He went to bed that night as the leading jockey of the festival. That's when the comparisons started. A young Ruby Walsh, people said, not just because of the wins, but because of the temperament. The ability to slow everything down when everyone else is speeding up. The sense that the bigger the stage, the calmer he became. It felt like the beginning of something special. And then, the unthinkable happened. The sport that had just watched him rise so quickly had to come to terms with losing him far too soon. The shock rippled through the weighing room, through Ireland, through Cheltenham, through racing fans who had only just begun to follow his journey. Because talent like that feels permanent. It feels like you have years ahead to watch it unfold. That year's festival carried a different tone. There was reflection in the air, moments of silence, moments where the noise felt slightly softer. The Supreme Novices Hurdle, the race that launched him on the biggest stage, was named in his honor. His name woven permanently into the fabric of Cheltenham. And then something almost poetic happened. Marine Nationale returned to win the champion chase. Another Cheltenham roar, another big stage triumph. And then 40 minutes later, Jazzy Matty followed up with victory in the Grand Annual. Back-to-back festival success for the 2 horses most associated with his career. It felt like we had Mikey back. That hour was all his. It felt like the story continuing, like his presence hadn't fully left that place. Because in many ways, it hasn't. As we head toward another Cheltenham, there will be new names, new young jockeys, new breakthrough performances. But some stories become part of the soul of the meeting. Michael O'Sullivan's is one of them. Not just for the double, not just for the composure, but for what he represented as a human. Talent, humility, courage, and a future that felt limitless. Racing moves on. It always does. But some rides and some people stay with us forever. Michael O'Sullivan is one of them.